What's up, everyone? This is Naveen. Welcome back to the Mentality Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, Connor McGuire, otherwise known as Concan Hoop online. He's been doing some super cool stuff. He's out of San Francisco International High School. So, yeah, feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Connor. I'm a Division III basketball player. Just started posting on social media about almost a year ago now. Excited to do this podcast.
Yeah. So, can you take me back to when you first started playing basketball? When did it go from like a sport I just played to something that you were chasing?
So I played basketball my entire life. My dad was my first coach. I played with all my friends from school. We had like a YMCA team, and I was always serious about basketball, but I was a soccer player growing up. So I think it was that turning point was about maybe like seventh grade where I started to like basketball more than soccer. And at that point, I was just like, "All right, I'm gonna take this seriously, see where it can take me, and now we're here."
Yeah, so I did see that you played two sports in high school. I think you're actually the captain of the soccer and basketball team.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I wanted to ask how being a multi-sport athlete was in high school in terms of one, managing your time, and then also what did that provide? What did soccer provide that basketball couldn't, and vice versa?
Yeah, so for the first 2 years, I just played basketball.
Mhm.
It's all I focused on because, I'd played soccer all my life. I quit. I was kind of done with it. Like,
Mhm.
I didn't want to play it anymore, but I was super talented at soccer. Like, growing up, I was a better soccer player than I was basketball player by far. Then all my friends were like, "Oh, we're playing soccer." I'm like, "Oh, that sounds fun," but I'm just like, it's not my thing anymore.
Mhm.
And then, I was going into my junior year. I was like, you know what, I might as well just give it a try. Got out there and like I think it was just like a kind of a different chemistry because basketball for me was always like, serious, 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 and that's what soccer was for me growing up. But it was a completely like different dynamic in high school because it was just like, you're leaving class early with your boys, just having a good time. And then, I was still having success on the soccer field because I'm a competitive guy. But like, I think it was just like more of a lighthearted, just go out there and have a good time.
Mhm. For sure. And I know that in your senior year, you end up winning the first ever state championship for international, and you had 32 points in that final. What was that feeling like? Can you walk me through that day, and also talk to me about how you prepare to have a game like that?
Yeah, I mean, when I look back at it, it's probably just like in my head, like probably the greatest day in my sports
Mhm.
career history, right? Just because I've had like a ton of individual achievements, and like when I scored 63 points, that was a great
Mhm.
individual achievement. But like there just like wasn't anything that can compare to like getting to the mountaintop. And sure, it's Division 5, right? It's not like I won the
Mhm.
Division 1 state championship, but it's like the feeling that I took my team as far as we could possibly go. We couldn't win the Division 1 championship. So like it was just like a surreal feeling, like, I'm in the NBA arena. Just had this moment with a coach that's coached me since I was, man, I think it was like one of my first coaches. I think he coached me since I was seventh grade. He's always been around international. I did it with my friends, you know what I mean? It wasn't like I went to a big school and we did it there. It was just like me and my friends, we went in and we did it, right? And it was a
Mhm.
super cool experience. And it's like in terms of how I prepare for a game like that, I feel like for me, it's not like I'm not mentally preparing for each game like super seriously like that. Like I know that what I need to do. I don't have like a I'll say this, I don't have like a routine of how I prepare for games. Like I just know that when I'm out there, like it's what I'm doing. I'm out there to compete. I'm out there to have a good time. Most importantly, get the win, right? So
Mhm.
like I knew going into it, it's the biggest game of my life. And it's like people I think get it confused. They try to be like, oh, how do I mentally prepare for this game right here, this game right here? It's like if you weren't mentally preparing for games like this months, years before, you're not going to be ready for it if you just decide, oh, I'm going to lock in 12 hours before.
Mhm. And when you have those games where you have 32 in the final, you had a 63-point game with 14 threes. When you're actually in the game, I know you said you just try to have a good time, but what does it feel like? Does it feel effortless, or does it feel like do you have like a sort of anger? How do you approach the game in terms of like killing and dominating on the court?
Yeah, I'd say at a certain point I'll just hit like almost flow state where anything I'm throwing up is just going in the basket. And my mentality is always like, I'm gonna try to go out there and score points, right?
Hmm.
Um, so like, when I find a rhythm, I feel like I have a special gift that's like even in college till this day, like I had a game where I'd scored 16 points and I was off the bench, 16 points. It doesn't seem like that many points, but like when you compare it to like a guy that's like, borderline not even in the rotation, borderline not playing, it's like I feel like I've always have that like dynamite potential where I could just go out there and score a ton of points just because when I enter flow state, like I'm really not missing.
So I think that's also something I want to touch on is like you went from being this person who had like these big games, 1,500 plus career points, and then you get to Puget Sound, if that's how you pronounce it, and you're a
Yep, you
freshman.
sound.
Yeah, you're fighting for minutes. And how is that transition for you going from being the guy and then going to college and realizing that you're almost back to like the starting point. You have to work your way up again.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling because like never in my life have I been a bench warmer, you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
at any level. So like, it's a whole different dynamic on the bench, like a whole bunch of things I had no clue happen and it's like you really kind of got to humble yourself and be like, okay, starting back from square one. One thing that never changes my work ethic. I'm gonna keep working for it every single day. And like it wasn't the pitch perfect freshman year that I imagined, but like it ended up going all right. Like some got some opportunity, had some good games, and in the end, like I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
sure, I wish I would have came in there and been a starter, done all that stuff, but I think it's gonna build character for the future and just, remind me that you're never too good for anything. You're always gotta fight for everything you have.
Hmm. So the season kind of felt more like a a long grind versus one singular moment that kind of changed you. Did it feel like you knew that no matter what, you just have to keep working?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I know that, I'm in there for a long run. I wasn't gonna make things happen in one game or anything like that.
Hmm.
It's just, keep coming in the gym, chipping away day after day.
And then what about there's a game on your record that was against a D1 program. How was it going through super high level competition like that? And what's going through your head that night, even if you weren't playing as much? How does it feel to play a team that's very, very high level compared to your team? If that makes sense. And a
Yeah,
non,
yeah, no, I get it.
yeah.
I mean, I think it was a cool feeling playing in a D1 team, like similar to kind of playing in the NBA arena. It's like it's all cool, but at the end of the day, I feel like I've been playing against D1 guys all my life, you know what I mean? Like I feel like people think that the gap is, so much wider and it's like in terms of teams and like stuff, it's wider, but like it's not like a D1 guy's going against like a freshman in high school, you know what I mean? Like he's like going against like comparable basketball players and like even going into half, we're only down 10 points.
Hmm.
So it's like I'm going out there with the feeling that I can compete every day. And like unfortunately I didn't really get much opportunity in that game. And by the time I went in, like it was basically already over. But like, I felt comfortable. I felt like I can make things happen out there.
Hmm. So with all of this, if you were to give like one singular piece of advice to a kid who's transitioning from senior year in high school to college, what would that be?
Uh, I'd just say just stay patient, keep working, keep getting in the gym. Uh,
Mhm.
there's not really like magic formula. You're going into a situation where, the coach doesn't know you. You know what I mean? Your teammates don't know you. They don't know where you like the ball. They don't know where your spots are. You know what I mean? It's going to take time.
Mhm.
And for some people, like it might look like they got everything figured out, like they're playing big minutes, but everybody's at a different point in their story.
So yeah, there is no magic formula, you're right. And I think that's related to your like 1,000 hour challenge and that grind. And I wanted to ask about where the idea came from and then what that actually looks like on a day-to-day basis. Cause I play basketball too. I'm at university high school.
Okay,
And I
nice.
was wondering, like, is it the same routine every day? Are you doing different things every day? Is it planned or is it just get in the gym? I do a workout on what I'm thinking that day and I move on.
Yeah, I'd say it isn't very planned. I'd say almost my life kind of just revolves around basketball to the point where like I'm already in the gym 3 hours a day every day. So it's like, I'm waking up, seeing where the runs are, or, if there's no runs available, I'll go to the park or go to the gym, anything like that. But like it's more of like a spontaneous, like, all right, let's see what's up today.
Hmm.
See who's hooping, see who's doing here, and like just figure it out, honestly.
Hmm. And when you started recording yourself and posting the that challenge and just in social media in general, was it a way of kind of keeping yourself accountable? Because I've actually also like I was actually kind of inspired by your account. I made a TikTok account. I was posting my workouts, doing stuff like that. For me, it was more about keeping myself accountable. Do you think it was about like showing other people, or was it more about your personal grind and for yourself?
I would say like I've never really had a problem with keeping myself accountable. So like
Hmm.
for me, it was like I want to build a future in basketball, right? And I want
Hmm.
to take this somewhere. I didn't want to just waste my 4 years of college. You know what I mean? Because, you got 4 years where your food's paid for, your housing's paid for. You don't really have to worry about much, right? So I took it as an opportunity to be like, let me see where I could take this whole social media thing. And I was like, all right, like, what do I think I'm better than like 99% of the planet at, right? And I was like, I'm in the gym every day, and it's honestly not too big of a burden on me. Like I'm not afraid to work hard. Like let me start documenting this, see where it goes. And then,
Hmm.
I kind of fell in love with the process of just like creating like content in general to where like now I'm finding different things and I'm finding a ton of different ways to grow followers, create a community and like, you know what I mean? Just kind of create like a cool experience for myself, like whether it's
Hmm.
taking trips to New York or um, doing like brand deal shoots, like anything like that. I think it's just like
Hmm.
all cool stuff that I tapped into because I was just started posting.
Does it create a sort of pressure on you because you're more known in the community, especially in the Bay Area, to kind of show up when you're playing in front of a crowd or with people that might know you?
Uh, I'd say like, you know what I mean? Like I, when I'm in college, like, the other student chat sections might be chirping me a little bit, but like,
Hmm.
I don't think I'm to the point yet to where it's like I got a little bit of extra pressure. I feel like at the same time, I'm still a small creator, and I mean,
Hmm.
no one's really like expecting much from a D3 hooper to do all this here and there. So I actually feel like most times I'm able to surprise people with what I can do on the court.
Hmm. And I'm a lot of the time, a lot of this conversation, you talked about consistency. You know that you're going to show up no matter what. But has anything changed for you in this past year? Every day you go in the gym for 3 hours, let's say, does anything change from 100 days ago versus today? And have those hours changed not only your game, but your mental approach to the game, or is it always the same?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I've kind of always had uh the same approach to the game where I'm always getting in the gym. But maybe one thing that's changed is, it's different from when, I want to get in the gym rather than like I have to get in the gym because I'm so
Hmm.
deep into a challenge. And, it's like I've always worked hard, but it's taken it to a different level because, now it could be like 9 o'clock at night and like regular days I would have just called it a day. But then it's like, I got to go do something, got to get my hours in. You know what I mean? So it's like, it creates kind of a different relationship with basketball to where it's
Yeah.
like, all right, now like this like a job. Like I gotta go in and do this, and it's like that helps me in the long run too. So I'm cool with it.
So you've never ever had like confidence issues or anxiety on on the court because you've never been. I know a lot of kids are bench players or something like that, but you seem like you've always been not in that situation.
Yeah, no, I would say one of my biggest things is like my confidence is like far beyond anybody. Like when I go in the game, like I'm gonna shoot the ball. I don't care because I know what I could do out there, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's why I was able to have a little bit of success when coming off the bench in college. Like I had some good games. I probably had like 3 games in double digits, which is I think a little rare for a guy that's playing like 5 minutes a game.
Hmm.
But that's just because like. I know that I'm a good basketball player. I've played my entire life. You know what I mean? I know the guys that are at the top of the rotation are not that much better than me. And I know that, the guys at the absolutely bottom of the rotation are not that much worse than me. And I think that, like, you know what I mean? Everybody's kind of at the same level. And if you let your confidence like drag you down, you're just not going to have a lot of success in this game.
Hmm. And I think confidence is a super big issue for a lot of young athletes. You kind of always had that. Do you think there's a reason for that? Do you think it's more just how much you've played at the game, or do you think it's something else? How did you develop that mentality originally?
I don't know. I just feel like I've always been a confident player because it's like,
Hmm.
in my head, it's like, oh, you either go out there and you're not confident, you don't play well, or you're confident, you shoot your shots, you play well. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
what's the worst that could happen? You miss a shot, you
Mhm.
get subbed out. I mean, but if you don't have confidence, same thing's gonna happen, if not worse. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just, you know what I mean? It's routine for me. I know I'm a confident guy, so I'm gonna go out there and shoot.
And with the internet, do you ever have like haters or things like that? And I do that. Does that ever get to you? Does it ever get in your head?
To be honest, like I don't like even read the comments consistently like
Uh-huh.
that. To like when I was like smaller, like I would have like you'd see a comment and you'd be like, oh, like that kind of sucks, right? But
Mhm.
like when you get bigger, like there's so many comments coming in. It's like 99% of them are just positive comments, and even
Mhm.
like hate comments. Like I think it's like people think that way more people are going to be hating on you than they actually do.
Mhm.
Um, but like it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't get to me. Like it doesn't really matter what people are saying.
Mhm. And then if you were to talk about like after this journey ends with 1,000 hours, what are you planning to do with your content creation? Are you going to try to continue to grow and pursue it eventually full time, or are you thinking of it more as a side thing that you're doing on
No,
top of your basketball career?
for sure, I'm going to try to pursue and do it full time while I'm in college, and then hopefully I grow it to a point where when I'm outside of college, I'm even doing it full time. But
Mhm.
I think I have like so many other talents than just like working hard like that. Like I think I can make good skits. I can make good videos of just
Mhm.
like showing what it's like to be a D3 basketball player and content creator. So I think there's so much I could do with my content, and I'm obviously going to continue to just keep posting.
Mhm. And last thing, I just want you to tell me what you love about basketball. What do you love about the sport? What has it given you? I know it's given you a lot of opportunities and stuff, and what keeps you coming back?
Yeah, it's kind of a tough one because like I feel like almost basketball is just like so much of a part of me, like where it's like, all my friends play basketball. Like when we're going to hang out, we're going to play basketball.
Hmm.
And it's like what it's given to me, it's like my last like 10 years of my life has just been like dedicated towards this one thing. And like, to a lot of people it would sound crazy, but like it really is just like such a big part of my life that like I can't even almost put it into words. It's just like part of my life, like on an extreme level.
Hmm. I think for me, it would be something. I think it's also just about the love for the game. It's like unconditional almost. But I think it also gives like an outlet. I feel like it's kind of an escape. If you have a lot of stuff going on, then when you go to play basketball, it kind of clears your head almost. That's just how I feel personally. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for coming on. This
Yeah,
was
of
great.
course.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day.
Too.